This has been like my 30th time filming this, and I just really need to get used to being in front of the camera because it's really hard. I feel like I lose my words just as soon as I sit up here, and then like I have all these technical issues, and it's just been really exhausting. So I really hope this one works out. I had to eat like a slice of cake to calm myself down because I was just so frustrated before. But anyway, welcome back to my channel, Gracing You with Art. So a while back, I saw this amazing photo, image of a croissant painted, and I thought it was so cool. Obviously, it's AI generated, and I know it's a really polarizing topic for a lot of artists. And I personally feel like there aren't enough regulations to stop art theft. The government hasn't caught up with the new technology, but it also sparks a lot of inspiration for me, and I think it's a great tool for creatives to use. I've seen so many beautiful and interesting ideas that don't actually exist, so I wanted to bring them to life. I'm making 3 different shapes in this video: farfalle, ravioli, and croissants. I'm making the base with polymer clay, and getting the colors right was the hardest part. I wanted the base color to look like pasta, and I was really struggling here. I think I initially put too much brown and it was dulling out the color, but I would say it's just like a mix of white, yellow, a tiny bit of red, and like a tiny bit of brown. So starting off with the farfalle, I'd recommend keeping your slab about 3mm thick. Then I got the zigzag blade from Sculpey, and I think that any type of blade that has this jagged line would work. You want to make these squares with jagged lines in one direction and straight lines in the other. I'm just cleaning up these edges and saving them for later. Then you take each square and fold it kind of like an accordion with 3 folds, but only pinch it in the center so it fans out on each side. And make sure the folds are parallel to the straight lines. And that's basically it. I just repeat this step for all of the farfalles. Next, I'm making the raviolis, and these slabs are about 2mm thick because I'll be doubling them, so they're actually going to be 4mm at the end. And then I make a pillow-like shape to put in the center and lay a second sheet on top. Pinch the sides down to get all the air bubbles out and attach the 2 sides together. And then you're going to take your same jagged blade and cut a square around your pillow, leaving a little bit of space to border it.
Not say like stuck in the views, but they
Lastly, I'm going to be making croissants, and these are going to be the hardest ones to make, but I think they're the prettiest. You roll another slab of clay that's about 3 millimeters, and you cut them into tall triangles with two sides being longer than the bottom side, like I'm showing here.
Based on assumptions about their age. Now, I should say that traditionally, social scientists have said that a big cause of generational differences was major events. The first social scientists didn't even say that social generations were a thing until immediate differentiation of sociologists, people who study how things behave in society.
They should look like this, and then you want to roll them from the short side to the point on the other side. And once you have it all rolled up, you want to curl your edges towards the direction of your point. It should look like almost a half circle. Next, you want to get some type of detail tool and carve lines that follow the rolls. You don't have to be super careful with this part. The randomness adds to the texture and makes it look a bit more realistic. You want to add these horizontal lines around the entire piece. Once you're done with this step, hold off on baking. We're going to add some shading with soft pastels.
When he senses long in order to
For the pastels, I picked out some reddish browns, yellow, and orange, and with a metal blade, I scraped off the side to make it like a powder.
To the way I felt, ending with much more clarity and nuance. How much I've always seen myself in Danny, which makes it. I even went so far as to call Danny the quote idealized version of agreement.
With a paintbrush, I applied the powder to the mini croissants, and I tried to emulate the golden brown you see in pastries, with the darker colors going more towards the center in each layer and the brighter colors going towards the edges of each layer. I put more powder on the front and back and left the sides a bit more bare, the way an oven would bake croissants on the top and bottom more than the sides. Once I'm done, I throw these in the oven at 265 degrees Fahrenheit for about 40 minutes, and they come out with this matte texture that I'll be painting on top of. I use open and heavy body acrylics from Golden Paints, but I think you can also use gouache. I just personally haven't tried it out yet. I painted a bunch of floral scenes in an impressionistic style. I wanted them to look vintage and romantic with a lot of greenery. I love how the AI versions had Renaissance-inspired paintings on them, but these clay pieces were way too small, so I tried to do something simpler. So this is how they turned out. I was struggling a little bit with the bow ties and the croissant shapes. Croissants were very textured, so it was really hard to get detail in. I think if I made them again, I would make it a little bit smoother on the parts that I would paint on. And with the bow ties, it was a bit difficult to get the proportions right, especially in the center where it kind of squeezes in. But overall, I'm really proud of myself, and I love how these turned out. Let me know how you think I did compared to the AI art, and also what you think about the future of AI in general.